have a good share. So once again, you are all welcome to this platform. This platform is put together by the researchers. Who are the researchers? We are all Nigerians all over the world. Just name it. Name that country. We find we are all everywhere. So as a Nigerian, and the platform is being put together sometimes ago, like 2019 or thereabouts. And the idea is, how can Nigerians help Nigerians colleagues? How can we be of help? And I can tell you for free that this platform has empowered a lot of people. Some people keep they don't but they don't want to share their testimony. Some of us do share our testimony. So we have huge resources from that platform. So that is one of the things I want to encourage ourselves. Please help someone. Help a Nigerian fellow. Indians are helping Indians. Chinese are helping Chinese. Pakistan are following up. Let us also be our brother's keeper. That is why, that is the hungry. That is what gave back to this particular platform we are talking about. So guys, let's try as much as possible. That's the main key thing. Now let's move on to our speaker for today. We have four of them. They will be giving us these. They will be dishing it out. We'll be introducing them one after the other when their slot is in. But to open this event, I will like to call on one of our able foundational, or one of the brain behind this platform. Dr. Ojodomo Achadu is an assistant professor of chemistry and course leader of the chemistry program at Teesside University in the United Kingdom. He earned his PhD in chemistry from Lowell University in 2018. He leads the Achadu lab group on the various funded projects focused on developing sustainable nanotechnology-based solutions underpinning the health and environment, water, energy nexus. So he will be talking to us today, and he will be the one to open the floor. So without wasting much of our time, over to you, sir, Dr. Ojodomo. You can unmute yourself, sir.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Ke, for that wonderful introduction. And good evening, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon to you. And yeah, it's a real pleasure to be speaking with you today, to really have you here. And I welcome you all from every part of the world. And it's a real pleasure to have you join us here this today to just still rub minds and just continue to foster the agenda of the researcher. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined. So I'd like to share my screen, please. Do you mind if I?
Yes, I think you should be able to share. Yes.
Okay, can you see my screen now?
It's coming up.
All right. Perfect. Thank you so much. So, once again, my name is Ojodomo Achadu, and I'll be talking to you today on research, commercialization, and technology transfer. So it's pretty much like what we are focused on here at Teesside University in the United Kingdom, where I currently lead a research group, and I'm also contributing to various research excellent framework that we're currently bidding to submit for the university. So I'm quite versed with some of the processes and some of the things we're doing in that process, and various trainings and all that I've attended in the course of my research career here at Teesside University. So Yeah, so the focus, my understanding, or basically what we've seen is why do we do research? Basically, primarily, the overarching aim of why we carry out research is, as a matter of fact, to impact the society. So, which means the whole agenda or the whole movement or the whole activity, or the term from lab to market and all that is all about impacting the society positively. And there are so many ways uh, that we're looking forward to doing this through research. And I've just listed a few points here. One of them is very key, very top of my own research impact for society is health and well-being focus. I'm also very keen on greener environment and sustainability in terms of the sort of materials that we use and introducing nanotechnology to make things very, very green in terms of less toxic materials. And all this can be tied together towards clean water and sanitation in terms of where we apply the materials we make and also fabricating diagnostic biosensors. So at least you find one or two things that you see that yes, if we can achieve it, it would actually result in huge societal impact. So, um, and in terms of the research impact, how, in order for us to sort of achieve this societal impact, the strategies that must be in place. I mean, there are other things, of course, but these very key points, strategies are very paramount to researchers such as myself and those both in the academia, industry, and also as well as those in the businesses as well. So, research and innovation sits at the top, and there's also impact, which is quite vital because without impact, research and innovation would actually be wouldn't have achieved its full purpose. And also, in order for you to drive research and innovation and impact, there has to be a learning and teaching, and also, of course, the knowledge exchange and enterprise, which is actually how the academia connects with uh, the industry and also members of the society or the society at large as well. So, and all these four cardinal strategies are actually underpinned by, of course, robust resource management as well as uh, working under the umbrella of a very, defined entity such as the university, institution, research body, private or public. So I really like to draw our attention to the pure definition of what research impact is all about because you know it's always very easy for us to think of research in terms of well, research is just whatever I think and I just want to be novel, in my thinking, or it's about how well I can think or how good my paper get accepted. But then again, we'll see that research impact, it's usually about the introduction of new knowledge, new things, that can benefit the economy, society, and just something that goes beyond the four corners, of our labs, of our offices, or even businesses as well. People see business owners or very small startups sit there, crank up ideas, and they blossom into something that can actually help the society in as much as they make money from that. But again, there has to be a product, something that sort of benefits people. So, um, in order for you to conceptualize what research impact is primarily all about, it's usually very good for us to understand what research impact is not, and also the myths that sort of surrounds the research impact. So research impact is actually not the dissemination of your research findings. That's not classed as an impact in terms of research. It's not about media appearances. It's not about publications. It's not about all the things we see in the blogs, announcing these things. It's essentially as well not all about public engagement activities. So you see that. So uh, research impact actually goes far, far beyond uh, this these areas. And if we then we'll look at what are properly classified as research impact and how do you want to drive impact. And just in case you're wondering, well, what are we really talking about here in terms of impact? So it's the research impact that is connected with commercialization potential of your research, the 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 the, the level of impact that your research or your ideas can drive is what actually informs the potential for it to be commercialized. So, and then what are the benefits, that we see? We can see with massive and huge research impact, we see skills and career being developed in the process. There's also the potential to rake in funding, sort of funding opportunities. And impact case studies usually where people bring testimonials, about what has truly benefited or what they have truly gained. So getting testimonials, sort of that satisfaction from impact case studies, and also, of course, the influence, the reputational growth, and also the institutional recognition for championing specific impactful research, innovation, or studies. So what are then the elements, of impact in terms of beneficiaries and stakeholders? So before we can actually gauge what research impact is all about or what if our research would be impactful, it's usually very good to have these questions at the back of your mind. So some of the impact integration assessment trainings that I've undergone, we've actually been given this sort of opportunity to build these questions, into our research. So it's not just about bidding for funds, bidding for grants, but rather, or just going to the lab and getting student trained. It's about who are the beneficiaries, who is going to really benefit from the activities you're doing, from the chemicals you're mixing, from the new knowledge you're seeking to generate. How would they benefit? And how can you directly engage with them? What's the translational pathways, that could be there for your research? And it's also very important to also recognize who your stakeholders would be in terms of who might be of interest in your research. And that's where businesses, industries, government, public agencies, non-governmental organizations, and that's where they come in, you know. And also, who can also help you achieve your impact goals and how? And also, what are then the potential barriers? So, if you do not have these questions, partly answered, or at least know these questions, and build them into your research strategy, research project management, it's going to be difficult to really, really uh, come up at the end of the day with a research that is impactful. So what we're saying is you cannot just hope to do research then think about the impact later down the line. No, it's usually think about the impact of your research, and that's when you have a high chance of making it impactful, which as well uh, makes it quite good as well in terms of research. So some of the elements that are underpinning the research pathways is how we can form a link between our research. What are the routes that we need to take? What are the specific actions? Who will engage with our research? So there's a whole lot of questions about our research that helps us to drive towards commercialization or knowledge transfer. So I'll just run through quickly some of the points here, and I'm happy to share some of this information. I'll have a private chat about some of the things that we're talking about here today. So we also need to gather evidence of the impact of our research. And what's very important is usually testimonials, quantitative and qualitative results, or in terms of assessment, of public assessment and direct application of our research. So in terms of your own impact journey, you need to get your own impact journey started by looking at some typical.
Please unmute yourself, sir.
All right. Thank you so much. Yeah. So so how you start your impact journey would be more thinking about, this couple of questions, what are the pathways, who can benefit from your research, like I mentioned earlier, and who can provide, sort of evidence, what sort of evidence do you need to gather, and a whole lot of things, So in research, building research impact into your research from the scratch, from the beginning of your research journey would sort of help you to much more likely achieve success in commercializing your research. That's basically the idea. So the underpinning words, or the key highlight word, is you need to engage, you need to connect, you need to collaborate, and you also need sort of partnering. And this also has various tiers of engagement and commitment from your side. So this is just some of the things we're doing here at Teesside University in terms of helping with our research impact. So how do we then link this whole impact thing to research commercialization? So it's usually very not very straightforward, but sometimes it requires a whole lot of few things, which I'm going to show very shortly. But then you need a proactive support mechanism, you need a university or your institutional infrastructure, and you need knowledge, capability, and culture. So which means training, information, and guidance is actually required. I mean, you can't just start commercializing your research all by yourself. I mean, it takes a lot. You might want to do this on your own, but you need that support structure in order to help you sort of pull through. So, and here at Teesside University, so some of the things we have, some of the strategies that we sort of currently undertake to help us with our research commercialization, and technology transfer. So first, we're engaged in lots of contract research, funded research as well, that generates IPs, intellectual properties. We also have continued professional development stance programs that we run as well with companies. So the commercialization of our research is not just only in terms of a product, but also in training people to become better and all that. So, and that's also consultancy, skills generation. There's also the KTP, which is the knowledge transfer partnership that we're currently building, or we build with industries. We work together, which I'm going to elaborate on shortly. And of course, there's also the apprenticeship programs that we're also running, where we're constantly fostering a link between the industry and the academia. So what then is KTP, which is actually one of the pathways towards commercializing your research, is the knowledge transfer partnership, where you have a business business and a partnership, working with academic, and you're also solving a problem for clients, and which means the client there could be society, it could be the NHS hospital, it could be the agency for, food and drug, something, So, but a business could also be an entity as well. It could be another university that you're working with. So, what does KTP really, really demonstrate? So again, in order for you to be engaged in a knowledge transfer partnership, you definitely need to demonstrate impact. Your research definitely need to demonstrate impact, innovation, challenge, and therefore cohesion, which means there has to be a clear-cut benefit for both parties, especially for the industry. So there has to be something that your skills, your knowledge can really help them solve and move their business forward, and which in turn impacts the society. So there's a case study which I just really want to share. So there's a Scott Bros, which is more like um, a waste recycling based firm here at the Northeast in Stockton. And what they do is they're into waste recycling, processing, construction, and maybe waste excavation. So one of the KTP ideas, well, one of the things we worked with them recently is to support them to implement some waste valorization into other useful materials. So, and this KTP means we are developing some technology in terms of how we can valorize or recycle materials into nano-sized particles, and they can sort of mix them with various soils or various other materials that they use, and this can sort of impact additional certain properties. So with this sort of idea, it benefits the business of the company, and it also generates business potential in terms of making money for these companies. So this is just a one very brief impact case study that I just really want to share in terms of our knowledge transfer uh,
Uh,
partnership.
sorry. We have 5 minutes, 4 minutes more for this section.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much. So the other aspect would also be consultancy, which means I need not to elaborate much on this because as academics, we all know the importance of consultancy in driving our research and collaboration potential. So finally, this other section I really want to talk to us about is on IP and commercialization. And this is how we sort of approach this aspect here in our institution. So one of the things we do is we actually look at technology transfer potential, of our research. And that means we can also tune that into commercialization, idea, properties or potential, and also knowledge transfer, knowledge exchange, and also innovation, but goes the other way. So from innovation, you go to knowledge exchange, knowledge transfer, commercialization, then there can't be knowledge transfer, which means after you've done some appropriate filing for your technology, you know. So a whole lot of things that we look at, which because of time, I won't be able to elaborate here, but we have lots of activities, that sort of go into the technology transfer process. So one of the things we do mainly is also once we have an idea, we speak with the appropriate people, the team. Yeah, so some of these things we don't know how it goes, in terms of IP and knowledge. So once we begin to see potential in our research, we begin to look into how to properly document the process, which means we speak with the appropriate people. We normally have the IP and commercialization managers, in our institution, and we fill out some, invention disclosure form, which is the IDF, and we begin to look at how that can proceed forward. So the whole idea is if you have an idea, research idea that can potentially be an invention or be patentable, you don't have to publish any of those research until you speak to the appropriate research office. Otherwise, it could actually result in you not being able to go forward with filing a patent. So, and yeah, so a whole lot of things that we do. The patent filing sort of requires novelty, inventive steps, and also, most importantly, the capability of that research to help industrial application. So there has to be an impact again. So we're going back to application and impact in terms of our research. So it's not just, there are other types of IP as well. It's not just about the research that we do. There's also a whole lot of things in terms of could be your trademark, copyright, even the design of any of your material. So which it doesn't have to be just the research or the data that we generate from our research. There could also be trade secrets as well. And finally, there's usually different levels to commercializing our research. There's the research phase, which is usually the technology readiness level, which is the TRL 1 to 3. And there's a development phase, and there's also the phase for the deployment, which means One of the factors to consider would be licensing, spin out, and a whole lot of other things, you know. But one of the best ways to approach this whole thing in terms of research, commercialization, and transfer is to speak with the right people who can put us through the process more efficiently. So, yeah, and there's also timeline as well to be considered. And what I can say is it takes patience and it takes a lot of time for this. But again, planning from the outset would really, really be massive to making sure that our research becomes successful at the end of the day. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much. Please, can we drop a comment? Just drop something, just one thing you are able to gather. You are in this particular presentation, and can we drop it? Yes, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Without that, we will not move to next stage. Please, I need just a point from you, just to be able to tell us that you are in the house, you're following what we are talking about. The title, fantastic presentation. Thank you. Is your institution in need of people to consult to be able to set up their own unit? We have enough people on ground that we can vouch for that will be able to be of help. And of help we are talking about, you have to pay them, not free of charge. So take note of that. Please, let's drop in our comments what exactly you are able to get in the presentation. Yes, fantastic, well presented and appreciated. Thank you so much. Dr. Ojodomo, thank you. Great presentation. I believe you are still in the house. The question will be coming in. Yes, top-notch explanation. Thank you. Uh, the question will be coming in very soon. The time for question is coming where we also ask us to be able to ask one or two questions. But without wasting much of our time, I would like to quickly call Dr. Miriam Adioba to introduce our next presenter. Are you in the house, Dr. Miriam?
Yes, I am. Good evening, everybody. So our next presenter is Mr. Jeremiah Olamijuwon. I think he's already in the house. I will give his short bio. He's currently finalizing his PhD at